LA is, by US standards, a very dense place. So one of the challenges we're trying to deal with here in LA when it comes to housing is we're really, given the housing stock that we have, really packed. I like to talk about lending and its importance here, mortgage lending, because I think it explains a lot about what's gone wrong. One of the fundamental drivers of the kind of income and wealth inequality we have in the US, probably more wealth than income, is we basically do mortgage lending the way we did it 50 years ago. I think if we moved away from these heuristics and actually use data science, and I've done the experiments on this, we could qualify more people of color into lending and at the same time have safer loans than we have right now. We have more bedrooms than people in LA. In no other country in the world would a city with more bedrooms than people be said to have a housing shortage.
One thing that became really abundantly clear over time was that banks were very willing to take deposits out of low-income areas, but often wouldn't lend back into them. So one of the things we do at the Federal Reserve is we make sure the banks lend back into those places where they take deposits. We watch that very closely. So over time, the Federal Reserve has really tried to kind of increase the flow of capital into low-income communities in a fair and reasonable way that makes sense for the banks, but also makes sense for the local communities. And so we work a lot with this whole constellation of entities. How do you create a market for that? How do you sort of use things like social impact bonds and pay for success financing and this whole suite of products that are out there that really help you sort of use third-party money to pay for these upstream interventions that then get paid for by the cost savings they generate downstream. We're just going to create a better, fairer, smarter, cheaper solution in some places, and then it's going to radiate out.
What stuck with me from my mother's rearing of me and my father's was that kind of motto around improving the world is really interrogating what is the relationship between a brilliant story, a great, gorgeous, engrossing story, and social change, and more specifically cultural change, that taking a narrative systems approach, by which I mean like establishing a coordinated set of stories that will be told and retold and retold by many people across movements and across pop culture in a way that over time is designed to make intentional change.